Hello, friends. It's Mrs. Zuehlsdorf, your school counselor. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about me and my job as the school counselor. You may be wondering, who is the school counselor? Well, my name is Mrs. Zuehlsdorf, and most people call me Mrs. Z. I split my time between two schools, Hearst and Fairlands. I'm excited to be a monarch and a flyer, and that I get to work with you all this year. You may wonder, what do school counselors do? You might be somebody who is new to the school, or maybe somebody that I have not had the pleasure to work with before. So let's find out. The number one thing I want you to remember is that school counselors help kids. Kids may need help in all different ways, and there are many, many ways to help kids. We all have problems and things that come up. Teachers have problems, students have problems, families have problems, and kids have problems when they're at school. So my job is to help kids when they need it. One way I do that is I talk to kids about their feelings and emotions. We all have feelings all the time, but sometimes our emotions get so big that we get off track from what we're doing and we need help to manage them. One of the emotions that I work with kids a lot on is when they get angry. Think about the last time you were angry. That might have been a time when you were frustrated or irritated or mad. And sometimes when we're angry, we say or do things we wish we could take back. My job is to help kids figure out what is making them so angry and maybe learn tools or strategies to help them calm down and say or do things in a different way. Another feeling that I talk to kids about a lot is when they feel sad. Sometimes we're sad when we're lonely or disappointed or down or feeling blue. And when we feel sad, it can make everything hard to do. My job is to help work with kids about why they're feeling so sad and see if we can get them to feel better so it doesn't get in the way of our learning or all the things we love to do. Another feeling that I talk to kids about is when they're feeling scared. Another word for scared might be worried or feeling anxious or feeling nervous. We might have been nervous about starting school in this distance learning format, or anxious or worried about things happening in the world. But sometimes when our worries get so big that they start to feel like they're in charge of us. And my job is to help kids with tools and strategies to cope, to make sure they are in charge of their worries and that their worries are not in charge of them. So one of the big parts of my job is I listen to students when they have a problem. And remember, all people have problems. However, what I also do is not just listen, is I help to teach students how to solve their own problems. If we can become good problem solvers now, it's going to help us as more problems come up later. Another thing I do is sometimes I teach students how to make good choices. For some of us, this comes really easy, but for others, it can be kind of tricky and it takes practice, so I try to help kids do that. So school counselors help in a lot of different ways. We help teachers and parents sometimes too. The most favorite part of my job is I get to help students do their very, very best. Now, let's talk about how to set up a time to talk with me. Since you can't just come down to my office, it's a little tricky, but we can solve that problem and figure it out. First, you can always let your classroom teacher know. You don't have to tell your teacher, or you don't have to tell them what you want to talk to me about if you don't want to, but they're really good problem solvers and they can always help as well. They can also get in touch with me and get me the message if you're having a hard time connecting with me. Another thing you could do is ask your parent or guardian to contact me so we can set up a time to connect. Now, I mentioned you can't just come down to my office like we could when we are on campus, but you can come over to my virtual office. It is right here. This is a link that might be posted on your teacher's platform, may be posted to their website. So this is what my virtual office looks like. You can click around the room to get to different things, like I have a book nook where you can get to different books about emotions and learning. All of these different posters and objects around my room will take you to other rooms or other resources to help you. You might recognize this poster. I have magnets in one office and a poster on the wall in the other. And we often use this to check in when you come to my office and see me. You can click on this poster and check in with me and let me know how you're doing and if we need to set up a time to talk. The other place you can find me is on my website. This also may be linked to your teacher's classroom, Google Classroom as well. On here, you can go straight to my virtual counseling office that we were just at, and you can also look at some distance learning materials. Some of you may have already seen this before when we sent out different materials to your teachers and to your parents as well. Now, I've been so happy to be able to talk with you and see you again. And here's my picture again, if you haven't seen me in a while. Welcome back to the new school year, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful year. I hope to see you soon.